For just a moment, close your eyes. Close your eyes and remember what it was like when you were 6 or 7 years old. You're 6 or 7 years old and you're about to be told a story. Open your eyes and join me. Once upon a time, there was an island in the middle of the Caribbean Sea called Banana Land. Banana Land was a lovely island and would have been the most peaceful place on the planet if it hadn't been for the threat of pirate ships. But for the most part, the people who lived in Banana Land were so happy just to be there. They were strong and healthy. They ate the bananas that they pulled down from the trees and the fish that came in from Snapper Bay. Every morning, the fishermen would walk down to the beach in Snapper Bay, frying pans in their hands, and they would sing magical songs as the sun rose in the horizon. And the fish would jump into the frying pans, but they never kept more than they needed. They always threw the extras back. There was one fisherman who had the most beautiful voice of them all, and he was called the Jolly Man. The Jolly Man would go down to the beach, and he would get more fish than anyone else to jump into his frying pan. One morning he went down to Snapper Bay, and in the water he saw a guitar. So he waded into the waves and pulled out the guitar. It was amazing. There were pearls on the neck. There were shells and corals lining the sound hole. And when he turned it over, there was the most beautiful white dolphin swimming in a sea of stars made of diamonds. The Jolly Man did not know how to play the guitar, but the moment his fingers touched the strings, it was as though they had a mind of their own. He played the most beautiful music he had ever heard. He played and he played and he played until all the people of Banana Land came down to see who was playing. Among them was Good King Jones, king of Banana Land. Good King Jones was a good ruler, and he was a friend of the Jolly Man. And when he heard the beautiful music that the Jolly Man was playing, he decreed that all the people of the island should band together and make a boat the Jolly Man could use to sail away to other islands so that other people could hear the music as well. And that is what they did. Every day after work on the boat had been completed, the Jolly Man walked down to Snapper Bay and he looked at the stars in the sky. And in particular, he followed the stars of Orion as they rose in the east and traveled across the sky, because those were the stars by which he would steer. When the boat was completed, Good King Jones called it the Orion, after the constellation the Jolly Man would follow. His daughter broke a bottle of coconut milk over the bow to christen it. They made sure there was a big white dolphin painted on the mainsail. The Jolly Man hoisted the sails, waited till they were full, and sailed off, watching the stars of Orion. He traveled to all the islands in the Caribbean, sharing his music with them. Every once in a while, he would see a pirate ship, but Orion sailed faster than the pirates, and they never caught it. One day, the Jolly Man received very sad news. Good King Jones had died. And the people of Banana Land were so sad. They needed the Jolly Man to come back and play music for them to cheer them up. The Jolly Man's heart hurt when he heard the news, and he had been gone from Banana Land so long that he knew he needed to go home and be with his people again. So he hoisted the sails of Orion, waited until the stars were out, and the sails filled with air, and set off as fast as he could. He was sailing, and all of a sudden, in the distance, he saw a strange flickering light. And as he got a little closer, he realized it was a fire. A boat was on fire. And he heard the people yelling, "Fire, fire, help!" So he bravely steered his ship as close as he could to theirs and found himself surrounded by wild, vicious men. He had been tricked by pirates. Their boat wasn't on fire after all. They tied him up and they swarmed over the Orion looking for anything of value they could find. One of the pirates went below deck and came up holding the magical guitar. He tried to pry the pearls out of the neck and couldn't do it. He tried to pry the corals and shells off the sound hole and couldn't do it. In frustration, he banged the guitar and tried to break it, and it wouldn't break. That got all the pirates so upset and they decided the Jolly Mon needed to be thrown overboard. So they wrapped him in chains and dragged him over to the bow of the boat and threw him over. The Jolly Mon felt himself sinking, 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 because he could not get free. Suddenly, he was surrounded by a cloud of bubbles, and he was able to breathe underwater. He thought he was dreaming. And then a dolphin swam up and loosened his chains, and together they ascended to the surface of the water. The dolphin slid under him and said, "My name is Albion, and I will take you back to Banana Land." Off they went, days and days and days. When they finally reached Banana Land, the Jolly Mon was so tired he could not even stagger up the sands of the beach. It took him several days to recover, but when he did, good King Joan's daughter took him by the hand, led him back down to the bay, and to his amazement, he saw Orion floating on the waves, and he saw his guitar leaning up against a banana tree. "Albion!" And he heard a voice in the waves next to him. "Yes, I showed the people of Banana Land where the pirates were. They got Orion back, and they brought back your guitar. Now it's time for me to go. But the people of Banana Land want you to be their new king. Rule over them in wisdom. And if you ever need me, just sing, and I will be there." And Albion went under the waves and came back up and continued ascending into the sky. And they could see the silhouette of the dolphin pass in front of the moon as he disappeared into the stars of Orion. The Jolly Mon did prove to be a very wise and just king. He played his guitar for the people of Banana Land. He occasionally took his boat, Orion, out to all the islands, sharing his music with the people he had met on his previous trips. Everybody in Banana Land lived a lovely, happy, peaceful life. Then one day the Jolly Mon realized he had grown very old, and he was very tired. So he picked up his guitar and played his last song for Albion, who came to get him. Albion came, surfaced next to him, and together they ascended into the sky, passing the moon and heading off for the stars of Orion. And to this day, when the people of Banana Land wish upon a star, they see the dolphin, the Jolly Mon, and his magical guitar.